It's often overlooked. Domestic violence. Domestic violence wears many tags. So Queenafi, if you're listening, check it out.
Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying. It's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone. It's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together and talk about it and let them know that they're not alone.
Young Motive is back with the topic of the day. It's a crucial situation that we all must pay more attention to. It's bringing families down. You know me, I know the truth, and I'ma spread it around. It usually happens at home behind closed doors, but it's spreading through high schools and college dorm floors. For the victim, it's like they got their head in the noose from all the scars of the physical and verbal abuse. Men do it to women, women do it to men. It's a cycle that happens over and over again. It's disturbing and far from bliss, and each and every child is emotionally affected by this. I think it's time we bring the dark to the light, to stop the 911 calls in the middle of the night. So I'm reaching out, and I hope it's worth my while. It's erasing the bond between man, woman, and child.
Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying. It's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone. It's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone. Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying. It's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone. It's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone.
Stop and think about it. This is your significant other. Why would you want your son to see you put your hands on his mother? Leaving little man shook. It's really a bad look. How he's supposed to concentrate and keep his head in the book? How's your daughter supposed to look up to dad? Don't you know that you're the first male role model she's ever had? The saying goes, a woman wants a man like a father.
Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. We are back for another session of the Expert Education Corner with your girl, Queenafi, founder of Domestic Violence Wears Me Tags organization. So glad to be back here on the education piece. You guys know how much education is important when we're talking about, ending domestic violence. And not only that, but just having those important dinner table conversations that can help make all the difference about our feelings, emotions, our concerns, our love, our compassion. The more we share that at the dinner table, the better off we become. So it's nothing like getting that opportunity to be able to do that with all of you tonight. I'm so grateful for every opportunity that is given to me to do it. For sure. I don't want nobody to think that I'm not grateful for all of the platforms that I've been on to, be able to educate and share. Talk about that 1 million that need to know Smiley story. And one of the reasons why I love the Expert Education Corner is because my daughter and I, we would talk and have, deep conversations and come up with theories and, come make our little wishes. We do our coulda, woulda, shoulda been. If it coulda, woulda, shoulda been, then it wouldn't be this way or it wouldn't be that way. And another thing that I enjoy doing with her is just talking about different perspectives over a lot of different conversations. So, the more I speak and educate, my inspiration really comes from she and I and the conversations that we will have, deep conversations that we will have, because my daughter, she wasn't afraid to tell me everything. Some things she told me I would have never told my parents. I would have never told my parents. I know better than that. Yeah, man. But my daughter, she felt open enough and she was brave enough, to tell me like, Mom, this is X, Y, and Z, or Mom, I feel like this, or You know, I wish things could be like that, sharing those deep conversations with me, making me vulnerable enough to want to share with her as well. You know, so she opened my transparency, my truth and transparency door. My daughter opened that up for me and helped me chop down some things I wouldn't have never told nobody. I thought I was going to my grave with some of the things that I shared with my daughter. Actually, a lot of things, all things really. I refused to keep secrets from her because I felt like she was the oldest child, and she would need to be able to write my obituary and write it in good faith, you know. So that's why I love our dinner table conversations. You heard me. That's why I can sit here and be so open and transparent with you all, because it's like, it's nothing. Like, it's what's supposed to happen. Nobody should be out there really scouting for, you know, a program or a therapist or this or that. If we can get some things done at our dinner table, which is the primary space that we should all be communicating our feelings and you know, concerns or upsets or different perspectives, then we got to do that. You know, we got to do that. We need to do it at the highest level. And that's going to be, guess what? Right at your dinner table. That's how it go. That's how it go. So whoever told you anything else, then you know, I don't know about that for real. Like, tonight's topic is going to be very interesting. I hope everybody is going to participate. I'm not sure why. I don't feel like my screen is sharing, and I don't know why. Let me get right here. I keep saying share my screen, but I don't feel like it's sharing. So students, if y'all in the classroom, let me know what's good. I might be on to something. I'm trying to share our education today and everything that we supposed to learn today. Let me get back to some of the comments real quick. Students, please share. And let's do present. Share the screen. Go back to putting up our lesson for today. I don't really like to be on the camera. I just like to educate behind the scenes. That's what I love to do. And I'm trying to figure out, are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's what I want to know. Can you see what I see? I'm not understanding why it's not sharing. That's a bummer. It should be sharing. Another way to share, because this is not picking up for me. Let me see if it'll pick up for me right here. It might pick up for me right here. I hope it does. Am I sharing it with y'all? I am. Yes. Okay. Let's go. This topic is going to be so interesting because, woo, y'all know we don't want to drink no water. We just don't want to drink water. We drink everything else but water. I don't understand it. I'd be like, what's going on? I mean, like, why don't we drink water, everybody? What's your reasons for not drinking water? Let me know. Or what's your reasons for you know, not getting your cups of water like you're supposed to dehydrate your brain? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. I think the conversation is going to be amazing as usual. Because guess what? Y'all know what time it is. It's time to drink that water. That's what time it is. It's time to get some water in your system, because we got some people out here, they reckless. And they reckless because I don't think they're getting the proper doses of water, if you ask me. We don't get but an hour, so we're gonna say tonight, does the importance of H2O to help respond to domestic violence and or traumatic experiences is what the conversation is about tonight, and ain't trying to answer or throw some theories or throw out different perspectives of this conversation, which I think is again very important. And we'll tell a story of something different, something unique about domestic violence and those many tags that it wears. Where people are, and let me tell you, one of the things that I found out that kind of prompted this for me was the fact that when I am out teaching or trying to help someone with domestic violence, there are so many victims, male and female, that are not afraid of domestic violence. They're not afraid of it. I've heard people say, this person should be scared of me. They think they crazy. I'm crazier. I've heard that. I've heard that. The one. What's a common one? I fight back. I fight back is a real common one that we use in terms of, I don't know if we're justifying the abuse. I don't know if we're trying to understand the abuse. I don't know, what state of mind we're in, but I know it's got to be unconscious. And it might be something that victim may have actually come from because they don't necessarily fear the dangers of domestic violence. They don't fear. They're not scared. And you would think one would be petrified, when somebody talking about killing you and taking your life and, telling you what you can and cannot do, threaten violence all against you and have strangled you, you still don't believe. Or you think because maybe the person didn't hit you, they went all around the barnyard and but never hit you. So you think, oh no, they not gonna do that to me. They've never done it to me. See what I mean? But the whole time you living in something like that, or if you're with someone like that, it's going to be dangerous. Now I'm trying to figure out, can water prompt these individuals to think in a way that it's clarity, to think in a way that, oh my goodness, I am in a dangerous situation. Oh my goodness, I need to respond in a way where I'm devising my plan, or I see that it's enough danger here for me to start, trying to exit this relationship. See what I mean? Or this friendship, whatever it may be. Of course, the abuser can be women, men, teen, boys, and girls. The victims can be, and they are, women, men, teen, boys, and girls. So domestic violence don't discriminate. It does not care who you are. It does not care what you stand for. It does not care what profession you in. It does not care what color you are. It does not care about your economic status. It does not care about how many children you have, because there's a lot of women and men who get killed and they got children. So it definitely don't care about your children. All right. And so when you are a parent, or when you are a person going through this and children are involved, you're not even in danger for your children's life. So something is happening there where this person is not thinking in the executive form, in the prefrontal cortex. So would that be classified as what? As an unconscious person? I'm going to have to say yes. I think most people who, operate in domestic violence, you're completely unconscious and oblivious to what is really going on. And especially more so if, it's been your story. If you feel like you survived it in childhood, if you feel like you survived it in adolescence, then it's not a big deal. I can do it again. It's sort of the mindset that individuals take when it comes to this. Oh, it was just verbal. It didn't make a difference to me one way or another. Verbal abuse kills. Let me tell you something. And verbal abuse is so vicious, it'll have you kill your own self. Okay. And then it's so vicious because it's a creeper. It'll have you be a homicidal too. So, I mean, that's one of them tags that you don't play with. And I was so happy to get out in the community over Berry Farms to support the men's health day, and talk to the brothers about, domestic violence and the many tags that it was. And the brothers was rolling up on me, letting me know, oh yeah, I know. I know. Brothers talking about how they have to go to court and petition being in their children's lives. And then, participating in the dangerous streets of DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Okay. So it was good to get out and really have that conversation and including our sons, including our uncles, including our fathers, including our brothers in the conversation, because it's important if we're going to end domestic violence. Okay. So let's jump into it. I took a moment. All right. Give me the moment. Let's move forward. Okay. So table of I don't like water. Research say drinking water to respond to domestic violence, traumatic experiences, dehydration impact. All right. Let's dive right into it. I've never drunk very much water, and I still don't. And I see no reason to do so. We'd be peeing all the time. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Where people be like, man, I don't want to drink no water. I ain't trying to pee all day. Excuse me? I know better than that now. Lord Jesus, you better get you some water all the time. You better be peeing all the time, because you got to be detoxing that drama, that jug up in your truck. And then the food you eat, you got to be detoxing that all the time. And you detox that not only through your feces, but as well as your urine. Okay, so it's important. I've got these water tablets. I've heard about the water tablets too before, where they say that the water tablets, I believe, add extra weight or make you feel bloated. It doesn't seem to help. I feel full all the time. I've heard of the water tablets. Water has supposed to be no taste. Water has no taste. Okay, people say that a lot. I mean, that's one of the big excuses as to why we don't drink water, because we say it don't taste like nothing. And hold up, y'all. Let me go here for a minute. I'm kind of reminded of slavery. With water has no taste. I got to take that out and put water has not taste. Water has no taste. Okay. I got to back up for a minute, because that reminds me of slavery and the house Negro working in the kitchen, so he or she can get the lemonade, they can get the iced tea with the sugar in it. They don't drink water. They want to work in the kitchen, they want to work in the house, so they can get that cup of lemonade or that cup of iced tea. Let me tell you something. And how some of our Korean stores and mom and pop stores have got hip to that. They have got hip to that, because we are still addicted to sugary lemonade and sugary iced tea. And I got to tell you, I don't do too much lemonade, but I definitely do me some sweet tea. Okay. So I'm in the boat with you. I'm subject to say, if I was living in slavery time, I might have become the house Negro, because I want me some iced tea with some sugar in it. Y'all know I ain't playing the 50, okay? But what I have done in terms of my iced tea, I've switched it up. I don't go to the carry out anymore to get iced tea unless I'm desperate. But I try to do my tea at home. So I do it with like a turmeric tea or something, some ginger or something like that. I make me an iced tea from there. And I also, of course, switch my sweetener up. I can do maple syrup, or I could do a little sugar cane, just a little something to give me that sweet taste that I need. I don't need as much sweet as I used to back then when I was drinking, smoking, you know what I mean, in the streets. I don't need all that, you know what I mean? But I do love iced tea. All right. I need something mixed in my water. Of course, we mix all kind of things in our water. And today they have the caffeine and sports drinks. The moderate caffeine intake consumption can be a part of a healthy diet. It can be, but that's up to 3 to 5 cups of plain coffee. So when you drink one of these things, it's like drinking almost 3 to 5 plain cups of coffee. Okay. Which is a lot of caffeine for us to be drinking. It is not going to help us. It's not going to help the brain function properly. Sports drink intake, stimulants containing energy drinks have no place in the diets of children or adolescents or adults. So y'all need to stop drinking the Red Bull. All right. Put that Red Bull down and get you some water. Put the Prime down. What's some other ones? What's the other ones they drink? Gatorade. All that. Put that stuff down, okay, and get you some water, some high quality water. Like you can do. We have our waters where they have the alkaline water, and they also have other various types of water that we could be drinking. The average person should drink water, not sports drinks, to rehydrate. So when you out there working out or you out there doing your thing, you can drink water. You don't have to drink these stimulant drinks that we drink. So I want y'all to think about that. It's bad for you. And my son lately has been getting into drinking the Prime, and Prime is now being inspected by the FDA because they want to know what's behind this whole drink. So I won't be buying those for him anymore. Okay. The thing about him though, I have trained him to drink lots of water. So he will get water. He does not have a problem with drinking water, but he's an athlete. So every now and then I guess he want to feel like an athlete. So he drink some of the things that the NBA players, the NFL players drink because he's a football player. So it's that part too. It's that part where, they have these things floating on TikTok about, this drink is good and this drink is for that and y'all. But a lot of those drinks and things have not been FDA tested, have not been FDA approved. So we got to tread lightly on those. Definitely for brain health. I don't like water. Research shows that even low levels of dehydration can affect a child's mood, energy level, and ability to concentrate. A 2011 review of studies on 7 to 9-year-olds in a school setting found that poor hydration was correlated with a variety of physical and mental complaints, including dehydration, influences mood and cognition, anxiety, depressed mood, difficult concentrating, and staying on task. Okay. Alcohol and digestion. This is a good one too. When you mix alcohol with water, hydrogen bonds form between them, and thus alcohol completely dissolves in water. So they're saying that the alcohol dissolves in water. So my thing with that is students, y'all, as scholars, y'all let me know. So are you getting your full drink? Because I know people who pour water in their alcohol. So if it dissolves in water, then are you getting the full effect? Right? So y'all let me know, okay, about that one. Water and digestion. Water in blood plasma then carries nutrients to your organs and your kidneys need water to flush out the toxins. When you are dehydrated, it becomes harder for food to process properly. So that's when I am drinking my water, because I also have indigestion, so I drink tons and tons of water. In fact, you're going to see me in this presentation drinking my big gulp of water, because it does help me with and it helps tremendously with my digestion issues that I face when, eating certain foods and stuff. Not only that, I want to make sure that I'm flushing out my kidneys on a daily basis. Like, I want to make sure I'm doing that. I also want to make sure that I am dehydrating my brain properly, so that it's getting the nutrients and stuff that I need to be able to think clearly, focus, discern, listen, taste. I need that water. I don't like water. I already did that one. Let's keep going. I don't like water. A can of soda may seem to quench your thirst, but the caffeine contained in most popular drinks is what? Woo! Loaded with sugar, loaded with the mess that's going to make you feel bloated and all that. I know for me, when I was when my daughter died, I started just drinking Diet Coke. I was on Diet Coke so hard. The Diet Coke was killing me. I mean, it was killing me. But it was in my mind. Now, before all this, I was still a water person. But I took to Diet Coke, because I'm like, if I can't get me a cup of liquor, if I can't get Remy, give me a Coke. So I was drinking Diet Coke constantly. And it was making me feel so sluggish. And don't get me wrong, I love a Pepsi. Pepsi is my thing. I love a Pepsi, right? But I'm chiming more into my brain. I'm chiming more into my body. I'm trying to figure out how I can live the most clearest way so that my cognitive does not decline early. So, I'm confessing that, the high levels of sodium and sugar in soda can also contribute to your dehydration. So we need to definitely limit those things, the sodas and stuff. And I'm on limitation with mine. I'm definitely on limitation with mine. It's a luxury. I treat it as a luxury. So I treat it, on a level where I can only get it every now and then. But after my daughter died, oh yeah, I was drinking Coke. Like, give me a Diet Coke, give me a Diet Coke, give me a Diet Coke. Because my feelings was hurt. My feelings was hurt real bad, and they still hurt. But I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do better in my grief. But it's not the easiest thing to do. Addiction equals dehydration all day in the pain. Drugs like ecstasy are well known for causing dehydration. People who take ecstasy report feeling extreme thirst and sweating a lot. And I've seen that. I didn't take ecstasy because I saw people with pacifiers in their mouth. I'm like, I'm not doing no pacifier. So ecstasy wasn't my thing, but I do know people who have taken ecstasy. Cocaine and methamphetamine stimulants can cause dehydration. Both causes the symptoms. Both because the symptoms caused by these drugs can cause excessive sweating and activity. Now, when you on the powder coke, you up. She talking about, and it's up, and it's Cardi B talking about, and it's up, and it's up, and it's up. Just do your couple of lines, and you're gonna be up. You're gonna be hot. You're gonna be feeling like the world is yours. You're gonna be feeling like you can do whatever you want to do with it. I mean, the egg gonna feel so fresh. I mean, it's nothing. The same thing with them with methamphetamines. So if you sweating profusely and you're not dehydrating, putting it back, then of course the brain is not functioning properly. We talked about the sugar piece. In animal studies, sugar has been found to produce more symptoms than is required to be considered an addictive substance. Animal data has shown significant overlap between the consumption of added sugars and drug-like effects, including binging, cravings, tolerance, withdrawal. Look, I done been up, been out, had to go get me a piece of candy, a snicker or something. I was going. Like I had my cravings were so bad. And some of us, the cravings be so bad. Like it's like you can't go to sleep until you get that. Once you get that, then you can go to bed. You sound asleep then. Some of them sugar cravings, be vicious, just like we on methamphetamine or just like we on cocoa. Some of them daggone sugar cravings be vicious. I know, because I done been down that road. Sugar addiction seems to be dependent to the natural endogenous opioids that get released upon sugar intake. So you got a little bit that get released upon the sugar intake, that natural opiates. So we got to be careful with the amount of sugar that we're intaking in and make sure that we're properly hydrating our brains with water. Okay. When a person is quitting substance, they may need to go through a medically assisted detox. Many drugs have withdrawal symptoms that cause dehydration, such as vomiting, sweating, and diarrhea. During detox, it isn't uncommon for some people to need IV to provide the fluid. So some people do need IVs to help them with the fluids and properly hydrating your body as fast as you can, trying to get it back on tap. So does brain dehydration help respond to domestic violence or traumatic experiences? If water levels are too low, our brain cells cannot function properly, leading to what? Cognitive problems. Yeah. You're going to have problems when you cannot think properly. You struggle to get your thoughts together. Your thoughts are disoriented. You don't talk in complete sentence. You talk in broken English. You use it a lot. You use a lot of the filler words. I keep saying myself. Oh, a lot of the filler words. Like some of the filler words, we use a lot of those. When in actuality, we should not. We should be using the dictionary and using words in the dictionary more. But we do use a lot of filler words, which does not help us, even if we do have words, because we can't think clearly, because we may not be properly hydrated. Those words never come up. So we end up using a lot of the filler words again. So you got to make sure that, and I'm gonna stop saying because I got some words in and I need to use them. See, the filler words are so easy to use because we're not constantly using our words. We're not constantly thinking about that next word we need to say for that particular content or for that particular conversation. So I'm going to tread lightly on I'm trying to get better at mine too. So you can get better at yours too. We can get better together. Okay. It's no greater feeling than messing up, experiencing trials and tribulations, and having people around you who know exactly what you're feeling because they're going through the same thing, and we can talk about it and we can let it out. We can heal from, we can find solutions to get better at it. And that's what we do here, scholars. If water levels are too low, our brain cells cannot function properly, leading to cognitive problems. So when we have little people living in these households where domestic violence is going on or traumatic experiences have been happening, our little people cannot function already. Okay. And then when we sit up and get them juice, soda, Huggies, Capri Suns, Gatorades, we fill them with all of these other substances and drinks. I know Blake liked a little coffee here and there. Their cognitive don't work properly. It slows down. They struggle. It take them longer. So we want to make sure that we are making water a thing at the dinner table. I know some children want milk, some children want orange juice, but let's get to the source of what our bodies actually need to survive, and that's going to be water. Dehydrated cells are associated with brain dysfunction. So again, if you are not getting the proper levels of water, then your brain is dehydrated. If you drink alcohol most of the day, you get off work and the rest of the night, you having cups and cups and cups of alcohol, little short cups of whiskey. You know, you might have about 5 or 6 of those. The tequila shots are very easy to do and not even think about it. The Red Bulls are so small, petite, they easy to pull back. Beer's easy to pull back. So we gotta start leaning more towards water at night, water during the day. And maybe if you need something to wake you up, you feel like you need something to just wake you up, then you could potentially have your little drink to wake you up. Then you go in lunch, you go with water, or you go with at night, you go with water. So you make sure you getting those proper, the cells dehydrated so that we can think in situations like domestic violence and traumatic experiences. We can begin to respond properly to those. As much as dehydration impacts your ability to think clearly, it also makes it very difficult to remember things. So you're not remembering properly. And when I say, okay, this is something that I do to you scholars out there. You take your sessions, we finish up, summarize, answer your questions. Queen says, give me 2 things you learned. Give me 2 things that you learned. Give me 2 things that stuck out to you. Give me 2 things. Woo! The scholars be struggling with that. They be struggling with that. And I tell them, I say, I got to make sure your brain is working. I got to make sure your brain is working. And it's, you know, for some of my scholars, they drink, you know, and they smoke and they do all kinds of stuff. But when they finish class, 9 times out of 10, they probably sober. Okay. And they need some water after that. All right. So when we dig down deep into what's really going on, your brain and body starts to become thirsty for water, right? And that's because you're pulling some things up to the front of your prefrontal cortex where your brain can begin to think proper, make those executive decisions of what's going to be in the best interest of my brain and body. What do I have to do in the best interest of my brain and body? According to Psychology Today, your brain may already be affected in terms of memory if you're even slightly thirsty throughout the day. All right. So you see what they said? The expert is saying if you slightly thirsty, it could potentially affect your memory. Okay. So when I'm thirsty, I grab my big gulp and I be going. I ain't playing around. There's me with my big gulp. And I'm gonna tell you something. Most people see me, they see me with that big gulp. What does research say? We're made up of water more than anything else, says Dr. Margin, a family medicine doctor with Henry Ford Health. Drinking 6 to 8 8-ounce glasses of water daily is what's recommended. 6 is fine for most people. 8 if you're more active. Okay. So get your water and drink. And if you drink Gatorade or Powerade after an hour workout, the doctor is saying water is still better. Okay. You don't need to replenish your electrolytes after an hour workout, she says. So drink water at the gym. At the gym, I have my big jug, my big gulp right there. I have that with me at the gym because it's important to drink that water while we're exercising. Okay. Dehydration impact. To our knowledge, this is the first comprehensive analysis to systematically demonstrate which cognitive domains may be more at risk after dehydration. We observe that tasks requiring attention and or executive function were significantly more impaired after DEH, while others, information processing, memory, action time tasks were not. So in this case, the front of your brain is affected when you're dehydrated. So you're not able to think properly. You're not able to chime into. You're not able to pick up on, and you're not able to process the information. Even if you take a pause and say, repeat that for me again. Help me make sense of that. Those are some things that you can, help your brain clarify what it is that you're trying to take in. You must be dehydrated to do that. You have got to be dehydrated to ask your follow-up questions when things are not right or when things are right. You still have to have your brain dehydrated enough to ask your follow-up questions. We're not even hydrated enough to do that. We got so much going on, so much junk in our trunk. Let me keep going. What does research say again? Walter, a professor of nutrition at Harvard, said that Americans are conditioned to expect high levels of sweetness in everything. So your candy yams is off the chain sweet. Your candy yams is off the chain sweet. You got some people who put sugar in their potato salad. You got some people who put sugar on you eat a lot of cakes and pies or whatever. You're constantly baking them sweet potato pies. Be good, good, but not every day. And in fact, there's a vegan brand that makes a vegan sweet potato pie, and it's very good. We can start to, do things that lessens that sugar intake, that sweetness, that sweetener that we want, and treat your body right. Treat that brain right, right? You might say we are malhydrated because we drink so much soda and fruit juices and other sugar sweetened beverages. And by that, I mean, we drink beverages that harm our health, even energy drinks and vitamin boards. Most of those are loaded with sugar and not worth the use. Now, the doctors from Harvard telling you that, okay? You got to be getting your water in. You cannot not live here on this world, be productive, and don't be drinking your water. It's your body's going to slowly start the brain is going to slowly start deteriorating and declining. Of course, dementia can be early because of the water, age, and no water intake, because old people don't want to go to the bathroom all the time. I know my 65 and up crew don't want to go pee all the time. But you got to, because you got to have the water. Irregardless, you got to have the water. You got to have the water. Drinking water will help you respond to domestic violence and traumatic experiences. This is the key to devising an exit strategy and getting the proper mental health it will take to begin healing. The verbal and emotional abuse, you guys know, lasts a long time. Not realizing your dehydration stressors, not realizing your dehydration stressors distorts your mental capacity to respond to dysfunction with clarity. All right. Any questions out there? Any questions out there? Y'all know I try to keep the classroom moving along so we can, get that good word out there for the people. This conversation is so needed at the dinner table. And just off GP, we need to talk about this. We need to have more water challenges. We got TikTok. Y'all got all these dance challenges. Y'all got all these disco challenges. They got all this lingerie challenge. They got all this smoking challenge. They got weed is a depressant. That help the brain do nothing. And I know you think you're doing something, because I thought I was doing something when I was smoking it all the time, one behind the next. I thought I was doing something. I wasn't doing nothing. I was not doing nothing like I do today. Yes, everything is to the front of this brain here. Nothing ain't left behind at this point, because I got to think. I have to think, process, memorize, understand, speak clearly, get my words intact to live in this world and not get taken for bad. I got to be able to discern how to talk a gunman down. I got to be able to discern how to analyze and process domestic violence in the situation that I may be in. I can't just say, you know what I'm saying? Oh, the abuse should be afraid of me. Or, you know, we fight all the time. Like, I still get out on this person. And I'm saying, where the children at? Oh, they be asleep. No, they don't. You are messing up their lives when children live in this mess, and then all you turn around and give them is juice, milk, and candy. We don't have nobody on TikTok right now doing no water challenges. How much water we could drink at our dinner table? Why don't we start there with letting our young people see that water is something that we must have. We must have it all day, every day. We must have water. Now, if you ain't getting your 6 to 7 cups in, I don't know what you're doing. If you're not getting your 6 to 7 cups in, I don't know how you living. I really don't. How you living like that? How you living where you're not getting your cups of water? I mean, because that's a dangerous way to live. It's a dangerous way to live, and it's going to spiral you out of control. There is no control when you live in something like that. You say, as soon as I get up to try to do something different, man, I get knocked back down. It's probably because you're not drinking no water. You're not drinking enough water. But every time I see you got that red cup, though, you make sure you take that red cup wherever you go. Or I might see you with 1 or 2 bottles. I might see you with a small bottle of water. Are you serious? I'll be looking at this man. This man, 300 pounds. He got that little teeny bit of water like he is playing around. She not serious. She not serious. And by me talking to you and questioning about, you know, what your dysfunction could be linked to, a lot of times you have no words. You have no words. You cannot. It takes you so long to explain, to think. A lot of therapists, counselors, clergy people, men, ministries, all that be trying to prompt you to think about your feelings, your problems, your issues. So we got to pull it out you because you ain't thinking clear, because you don't drink no water. You don't drink no 6 to 7 cups of water. 3, what they say? What was it? 3 to 7 cups of water or whatever. You ain't drinking it. Because it's a struggle. It's a real struggle. But let me tell you something. If you're going to live in this world and you're going to have longevity, you're going to need to start thinking. Because there's things that you need to really seriously rationalize, especially when you're in something like domestic violence or have experienced multiple bouts of trauma. Seriously. And then we know the trauma can lead to cancer. It can lead to strokes, to heart attacks. It can lead to the heart overworking and cardiovascular disease. All of these things. We got to drink just water. We got to drink just water. And I preach it to myself all the time. Teach it to myself all the time. Teaching it to myself to put it to the front. Put it to the front. Get you some water, Queen. Get that water, because you know you cannot live without that water. I let myself know. And I want to get 100 years here on this earth. So, yeah, I don't got no problem with it, because my decision has been made about me living. When you in something like domestic violence, you confused. You lost. You not thinking, you disoriented. You being disrespected in something like domestic violence. And it's a traumatic experience. You're not thinking clearly. You need all the help you can get. And women and men be thinking that they don't need no help for domestic violence. Yes, you do. Because I'm telling you, what you in is toxic. And you sitting there looking at me like, my daughter looked at me when I told her the same thing. Okay? And my boo-boo was drinking water. And she still couldn't see the forest from the tree because you need that extra help to help you discern that, because age, you know, she's younger. This is her first experience with love, you know, and there's those other factors there that played a part in her murder. But I'm telling you, when I sit up and talk to victims, and I end up seeing the victim and the abuser together again, and I see them together again and see them together again, and they call me and still ain't nothing ain't changed. You know, so clearly, you know, you're not thinking properly. When victims go back and forth, go back and forth, go back and forth, go back and forth, you're not thinking properly. And that's because your brain is not hydrated like it should be for you to think, for you to have things pulled to the front of your prefrontal cortex about the danger that, you know, victims and abusers suffer, okay, in silence. I'm going to tell you this and I'm going to let you go. God is so good because I put everything here. So if you want it, you know, you can get it. It's so good because he allowed me to be somewhere. He allowed me to be somewhere yesterday at a location. My face is looking kind of clear. Hold on, let me fix this situation. He allowed me to be somewhere at a location where I'm just think I'm helping me. I'm doing my daily routine of walking, and because my foot messed up, so I got to walk. So I'm doing my daily routine of walking and, you know, getting out and exercising my brain and connecting with nature. Nature is another way to connect and get that brain prompted to thinking about life and love and living. And I'm up here doing my little, what you call them, squats. I'm doing my squats, and a car pulls up, and the young lady gets out the car. I hear the boyfriend talking about, you bitch, you hoe. You wanted to do that anyway. You wanted to do that anyway. I know you wanted to do that anyway. You were stupid ass. This is what he was saying to her. So she gets out the car and she walking in my direction. I say, sis, you need a ride? She said, yes, please give me a ride to Annapolis. I said, I ain't going that far, you know, but I can get you somewhere close. So I ended up she ended up, you know, accepting the ride that God wanted me to give her. And why in the Lord? I'm in the right place at the right time in the right location, because let me tell you something about God. He will use your butt. I'm supposed to be over there on my workout, minding my business. Okay. I'm over here and this is going on. So I say, sis, you need a ride. I ends up getting her in the car, taking her to the, you know, to the closest place that I could take her so she can get to where she going. Before I let her out that car, I had to think about what I was supposed to say to her. But I had to let her know, sis, let me say something to you. This is not by chance that God put you in this car. Okay. You in this car because my daughter was murdered for the same thing that you are sitting up here putting up with your baby daddy. Okay. So it's not by chance that you in this vehicle. It's not by chance that I was there at the park and was supposed to give you a ride. This is all orchestrated by the Creator, honey. Because you know, nobody else wasn't going to give you no ride. Nobody else wasn't going to ask you, did you need a ride? They was going to let your little butt walk on wherever you thought you was going. She said, oh, I know. She was like, thank you. I'm sorry for your loss. I said, let me say, you are beautiful. You do not deserve this. No man should be sitting up here talking to you like this, disrespecting you in front of your son. I don't care if it is your baby daddy. I don't care who it is. They don't have no right to do that to you, baby. Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking about yourself and your baby, and about not letting nobody throw you under the bus and disrespect you like that against you. I will. Thank you so much for the ride. Thank you so much for the ride. Now, y'all know I know he pulled up behind me and came and picked her up. Okay? Because that is what the dysfunction of domestic violence. All right? That's what we do. We still turn around and get in the car with the person I gave her a ride. But you know what, though? I was doing what God told me to do. See, I was doing what God told me to do. I can't determine what she gonna do, which I know what she gonna do. She going to call him. He gonna say he's sorry because he said he needed her to get him a room. He needed her to get him a room. Are you serious? He was yelling out the car. You gonna get the room for me? I still need you to get the room for me. So he was mad the whole time because she didn't get him a room. Because he probably started talking mess, verbally abusing her and attacking her. Yes, he wanted her. I say he is trifling. He yelling out the car, talking about get you a room, get him a room. So he just using you, right? My thoughts. Those are my thoughts. And this is what happens. Oh, this is what happens. This is what happens with victims in domestic violence. Financial abuse is real. They let you have these babies and all that and can't take care of none of them, but they still want a room. They still want a room, right? They want that food stamp card that you're supposed to be feeding all 6 of the children with. You got to make sure you get the steaks, the potato chips, the soda, and all that. Talking about he still need her to get a room out there and set up and disrespected her in front of the park and people in the park. Come on, boo, in front of her child? Are you serious? So God bless her, and she said she heard what I said. So let's pray to God she did. All right. But I know he probably pulled up and picked her up, and they probably made up, and she went and got the room. So it might take that person those cycles, going back. Why is that? Because the victim is not properly hydrated. We know the abuser is not properly hydrated, and there are some abusers that are properly hydrated. And they know the words, all right? They know how to kill somebody with their mouth, all right? So there is that part too, all right? Then you can get two abusers, 2 victims first, turn abusers in a relationship, and they kill each other because they're not dehydrated. The brain is not working properly. The brain is not responding to domestic violence and or traumatic experiences like it's supposed to because they don't drink water. They're not drinking enough water. They drink substitutes. And even if you get an abuser who don't drink necessarily water, they may be drinking them Gatorades, and they may be drinking them stimulants, and they may drink coffee, a lot of coffee. So, those are the factors of, when we get, victims drink a lot of wine because they be trying to, wine their way up out there. Wine their way about that mess. I swear. They be trying to wine their way about that mess business. But let me tell you something, sister, brother, you ain't whining your way out no mess. You're staying in the mess. That's what you're doing. You're staying in the mess. So we got to become more smart about drinking our water so that our brains are dehydrated, so that we can begin to respond to domestic violence and traumatic experiences the way we are supposed to, which is in the prefrontal cortex. All right. I want to thank y'all for chiming in tonight. I had to bust y'all with that. God, y'all keep our little sis up and pray that God remove her from that situation, whoever that so-and-so was, supposed to be her baby father, whatever. Remove her from that situation, and she can take her baby and stand on her own 2 feet and never let a man, ever woman, man, chick, child, boy, disrespect her like that again. So I want y'all to keep her in your prayer. Beautiful sis, beautiful young girl. She must have been every bit of my daughter's age, probably like 20. My daughter was murdered at 19. She probably was like 20. I say about 20, 21 up in that area. He looked like he was about 22, 23, 24, 25. Somewhere up in there. With the silliness, and the little baby couldn't be no more than 2 years old. With the silliness going on. But domestic violence is real. It's real. It's real. And, it takes time to get up out of that thing. I spend a lot of time with victims helping them see that they need to pull the behavior to the front of their prefrontal cortex and identify that this is a serious thing. Right? So go in peace and love, my brothers and sisters. Go in peace and love. Thank you for chiming in tonight. If you're interested in, having a dinner table conversation, you can always go back to our Facebook page, business page, Dvwmt 96, and pull this and share this with your loved ones. Won't y'all start with the water challenge though? Get that water challenge going on at your dinner table. Let me see that out there. You know, I see you dancing and all that, and split, and jumping, double dutch, and all that kind of stuff. Let's get some water challenges going on at them dinner tables, though. Okay? Thank you, my brothers and sisters. Go in peace and love. Go in peace and love. Thank you for chiming in tonight.
Breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone. Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying, it's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone. It's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone.
This is Young Motive, and I have a topic today that's often overlooked. Domestic violence. Domestic violence wears many tags. So Queenafi, if you're listening, check it out.
Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying, it's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone. It's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone.
Young Motive is back with the topic of the day. It's a crucial situation that we all must pay